I lost all my sisters, man. Every single one of them. When you're forced down into this dirt, you look around and realize you are surrounded by people fractured by severe mental illness. I desperately need to find a steady job. I am out here turning in paper applications every single day, but not a single business has hired me yet. Everything in my life was going completely good. I managed to put the chemical down, and I picked up a committed relationship. But the people walking past us think we aren't even human beings anymore. They look at me like I am a parasite on society. I reached out for a baseline safety net, but they denied me completely. And when they denied me, it hurt. It cut deep into my soul. I just sat on this concrete and cried. It is terrifying out here because you are a single woman, and you have absolutely no idea who is hiding in the dark. It felt entirely hopeless. But in the back of my mind, I still knew there had to be a way out. Welcome to Homeless U.S. News. Today, we are stepping directly onto the pavements of San Diego, California, a metropolis celebrated across the planet for its endless sunshine, pristine white beaches, and the absolute peak of the American dream. But behind the luxury seaside resorts and the high-end tourist boardwalks, a severe, deep-seated humanitarian emergency is unfolding in full public view right now. Exactly 9,803 human beings are experiencing absolute homelessness across San Diego County. More than 5,100 of them are completely unsheltered, sleeping inside fragile nylon tents, unpowered vehicles, and on freezing concrete sidewalks just minutes away from five-star oceanfront hotels. This is a parallel world that international visitors are never supposed to see. Families frantically folding down their tarps before morning commute. Citizens pushing their entire material existence block after block through the coastal fog, and thousands of human beings forced into permanent physical movement because the city has systematically eliminated any legal place for them to rest. How does a city of such immense geographic beauty and corporate wealth learn to conceal so much human agony in plain sight? Stay with this continuous documentary until the very final frame. What unfolds across these sectors will challenge everything you think you know about economic stability. If you believe that these raw human stories deserve a platform, smash that subscribe button right now and turn on all notifications. Let's walk these blocks together. Drop a comment below right now. Can a city truly claim to be beautiful when thousands of its own longtime residents have nowhere safe to close their eyes tonight? Let's uncover the truth. Part 1. The Ledger of the Southern Corridor, Balancing the Cold Data. To truly comprehend the scale of human displacement across Southern California, you have to look past the beautiful tourist brochures and analyze the structural reality of the point-in-time metrics. The latest official census compiled by the Regional Task Force on Homelessness confirms that 9,803 individuals are trapped in the cycle of absolute housing loss across San Diego County on any given night. While regional administrators frequently highlight a modest 1% decline from previous historic peaks, exactly 5,118 human beings remain fully unsheltered, living exposed on the asphalt. Within the boundaries of San Diego City alone, exactly 5,958 displaced individuals are documented, with 3,132 of them surviving with zero structural protection from the climate. But the specific metric that reveals the true moral collapse of this landscape is the rapid expansion of unhoused senior citizens. An incredible 1 out of every 3 unsheltered individuals on the street is now an older adult age 55 or older. Large-scale encampments have expanded throughout the downtown East Village corridors, packed tightly along the industrial perimeters of Interstate 5, clustered near the edges of Balboa Park, and scattered across coastal zones where the mild climate offers a small sense of physical survival. Walk through downtown San Diego at the break of dawn, and the absolute socioeconomic fault line is impossible to ignore. Multi-million-dollar luxury high-rises and pristine ocean views sit only blocks away from citizens packing up their damp blankets, folding tarps, and searching for a public fountain just to wash their faces before the commercial crowds arrive. These are not transients passing through the state. The data confirms the vast majority are longtime residents who spent decades working in our local service sectors, paying taxes, and building families right here in San Diego before the real estate market priced them out of existence. They are left with zero private space, zero deadbolts to turn, and zero baseline stability, forcing them to calculate their survival 1 hour at a time. Part 2. The housing wall, the concrete engines of displacement. The descent into absolute destitution across San Diego County is rarely a sudden personal choice. It is almost always a slow, silent, and crushing chain of everyday economic pressures that systematically wears away human stability until the safety net snaps completely. To understand the primary engine behind this mass displacement, we must analyze the real estate ledger. A basic, no-frills one-bedroom apartment in neighborhoods like Hillcrest North Park and Claremont now routinely commands rental prices exceeding $2,400 a month. This massive affordability wall has completely decoupled the cost of shelter from local wages, leaving working-class families, fixed-income seniors, and single parents in a state of permanent financial fragility. For thousands of our neighbors, the crisis begins with a single, common financial shock: a sudden corporate layout, an unexpected hospital invoice, a complex divorce, or a sudden rent hike implemented by an offshore investment fund. They are spending 60% or more of their total monthly take-home pay just to keep their landlords happy, leaving absolutely zero margin for error. When that thin financial cushion disappears, the legal eviction process moves with devastating speed to the court systems, turning a stable citizen into an unhoused survivor in a matter of weeks. They work full-time hours in our restaurants, logistics warehouses, commercial hotels, and retail shops, yet their paychecks could not mathematically match the hyperinflation of rent. Once you lose your housing security, personal vulnerabilities like situational anxiety, clinical depression, or chemical dependency quietly grow over time, amplified by the immense trauma of having to survive on a concrete sidewalk. Homelessness is rarely the result of a single character flaw. It is a mathematical consequence of an exclusive economy that treats basic shelter as a speculative luxury asset rather than a fundamental human right. Part 3. The biology of exposure. Health decay on the sidewalk. Forced outdoor survival across San Diego is a brutal, non-stop test of physical endurance that most housed residents can never truly comprehend. The unsheltered population is forced to pitch their temporary nylon tarps near the damp perimeters of Mission Bay, beneath the concrete bridges of Interstate 5, or inside rusting vehicles parked around the industrial zones of Kearny Mesa. While the city is marketed globally for its mild, beautiful climate, the reality of the coastal terrain is defined by thick evening fog, heavy ocean winds, and penetrating dampness that slips directly through thin blankets and clothing. Lacking consistent access to public restrooms, running water, or private hygiene spaces transforms the simple mechanics of biological survival into an exhausting daily war. In sectors like the East Village and Logan Heights, individuals are forced to walk miles on raw, blistered feet just to locate a clean drop of water, wash their skin, or keep a change of clothes dry. The physical toll of this exposure accumulates rapidly. Chronic respiratory conditions, severe joint inflammation, and raw skin ulcerations multiply across the encampment because there is no clean, stable environment to heal. Managing critical medical prescriptions becomes an impossible obstacle when you do not possess a refrigerator to keep medications from degrading or a secure locker to protect your belongings from theft. Unhoused citizens are forced to live with permanent psychological hypervigilance, unable to fall into deep sleep because they must listen for predators in the dark while guarding their few material possessions with their bodies. This absolute lack of a private sanctuary drains human energy and willpower hour after hour, turning what should be a manageable life into a devastating struggle to simply stay alive in a metropolis that sparkles just a few blocks away. Part 4. The fractured communities, social friction across the grid. When extreme poverty becomes as visible and concentrated across urban spaces, it creates powerful waves of social friction that ripple through every layer of San Diego's shared civic neighborhoods. The consequences are felt daily across districts like Barrio Logan, University Heights, and the public parks near Mission Bay, where public infrastructures designed for family recreation are systematically transformed into high-density zones of open-air human survival. For the unhoused population, this visibility is a source of permanent anxiety and public humiliation. They carry the heavy emotional weight of being treated like a public safety hazard, an eyesore, or an economic nuisance by the society moving past them. They watch the avoided eye contact, the hurried pace of strangers, and the angry complaints filed on municipal apps, knowing that their very existence is viewed as a point of community strain. Most of these individuals are simply trying to navigate their hardship without drawing predator attention. But when a city possesses 0 public restrooms and overflowing shelter lines, a human being has absolutely no choice but to handle their basic biological needs in public view. At the exact same time, the operational strain on local independent business owners and residents is real and measurable. Merchants describe a severe financial burden, facing rising operational costs due to the necessity of investing in private security contractors, advanced lighting, and property repairs from vandalism. Longtime residents express a deep exhaustion as public spaces carry an undercurrent of tension that alters the familiar warmth of their neighborhoods. Senior citizens in their late 50s and beyond, who now make up 1/3 of the entire unsheltered population, share stories of absolute isolation, feeling completely left behind by the very city they helped build. This concentration of destitution proves that when basic human needs go unmet for thousands of people in shared spaces, the entire region fractures through the strain on public services. Part 5. The enforcement loop, the trauma of encampment sweeps. The daily dynamic inside San Diego's high-visibility commercial zones is defined by a tense, non-stop interaction between municipal enforcement teams and underfunded outreach workers attempting to manage the visible signs of poverty. Every week, city sanitation trucks accompanied by law enforcement cruisers move through the East Village and adjacent freeway corridors to execute cleanup operations under policies engineered to balance public space access with sidewalk bylaws. The financial cost of these operations is immense. Records confirm that the city of San Diego spent more than $7 million in a single fiscal year executing these encampment sweeps. But for the human beings living inside those targeted zones, the arrival of these crews represents a chaotic disruption that shatters whatever fragile order and community safety they have managed to establish on the street. Imagine being woken up at dawn, told by official uniforms that you have minutes to pack your entire material world into a cart before it is confiscated and destroyed. In the rush and panic, life-saving medical prescriptions are regularly lost. Legal identity documents required for housing applications are thrown into garbage compactors, and the few personal items that connect a person to their humanity disappear. Once the trucks leave, the sidewalk appears clean for the camera crews, but the human crisis has not changed. The unhoused residents simply wait around the corner, carrying their heavy gear, and slowly return to pitch their tarps as soon as the cruisers depart. It is a multi-million-dollar revolving door that manages public appearance for tourist seasons while deepening the trauma of the vulnerable, proving that moving a tent from one block to another fixes nothing. Part 6. The capacity chasm, the shortage of temporary housing. Despite public statements from municipal leaders regarding increases in indoor resources, the institutional shelter infrastructure across San Diego continues to operate under a state of permanent capacity crisis. The latest official counts document 4,695 people staying in sheltered placements across the county, a 12% rise driven by expanded emergency funding. But this growth remains a drop in the bucket compared to the massive ocean of human displacement. Thousands of individuals and families seek emergency shelter each month, only to encounter long, stagnant waiting lists in facilities that reach full capacity within hours of opening their intake doors. For those left outside the system, daily life becomes an exhausting cycle of rejection. Many are forced to wake before dawn near Logan Heights or the industrial sectors of Kearny Mesa, gathering their bags to begin the long walk to shelter intake lines, only to be told once again that every single mat is full. This constant rejection chips away at human hope, turning the simple desire for a secure room to sleep into a heartbreaking daily battle. A single mother is forced to keep her children calm on hard public benches, hoping for a single night of physical safety and a hot shower, while low-income seniors carry their entire world from block to block, struggling to manage their health without fear of losing their last remaining possessions. The shortage of transitional and emergency beds turns what should be a bridge to stability into another source of disappointment and fatigue. trapping people in a loop of temporary survival where they cannot maintain employment or plan for tomorrow because they have no consistent address to return to at night. Part 7. The Architecture Compassion. Integrated Support Pathways. The path forward for the city of San Diego requires a complete transition away from short-term emergency containment and a massive investment in the architecture of permanence. Through coordinated strategy between the Regional Task Force on Homelessness and the San Diego Housing Commission, the community is attempting to prioritize permanent supportive housing paired directly with intensive medical and behavioral health care services. Initiatives like the Bridge to Home framework have successfully transitioned thousands of high-risk individuals off the concrete, adding over 2,800 new supportive housing units across the county market over the past few years. These developments go far past providing mere roofs and walls. They integrate on-site case management, mental health therapy clinics, substance recovery programs, and vocational training workshops designed to help individuals rebuild their independence inside familiar neighborhoods from La Jolla to Spring Valley. When you hand an unhoused citizen a key to their own apartment, a private space with a door that locks, a clean bathroom, and a functional kitchen, their nervous system finally leaves emergency fight or flight mode. Their cortisol levels drop, their mind clears, and they can finally begin the long, difficult work of rehabilitation. We see the profound human transformation that occurs when these integrated pathways are deployed. Families can focus on education instead of primal survival, and older residents can manage their chronic health conditions consistently. These long-term strategies emphasize prevention as much as recovery, helping families at risk through rapid rental assistance before the crisis deepens, proving that homelessness is a curable condition when a society matches its financial resources with practical compassion. Part 8. The Generational Squeeze, Elders and Forgotten Youth. To fully map the human reality of San Diego's crisis, we must look closely at a devastating generational squeeze that is occurring on its sidewalks. The unhoused population is rapidly fracturing into two highly vulnerable demographics: senior citizens who have run out of time and young adults who have run out of options. The middle-class safety net has failed them both, leaving them to navigate the brutal dynamics of the streets side by side. Senior citizens over the age of 65 represent one of the fastest growing segments of the displaced population in the county. These are individuals who spent decades working in our local service sectors, cleaning our buildings, or working in retail, surviving on modest wages, while believing that their Social Security would protect them in their twilight years. But in a real estate market where a basic studio costs $2,000, their fixed checks are a fraction of what is required to stay indoors. We see grandmothers trying to manage chronic conditions like heart disease, severe arthritis, and diabetes inside nylon tents, their physical forms rapidly deteriorating under the strain of the damp coastal fog. On the other end of this tragic spectrum are the unaccompanied youth, teenagers and young adults between the ages of 18 and 24 who have aged out of the foster care system or fled abusive family environments. They arrive on the streets of San Diego with nothing but a backpack and a profound vulnerability. Without an adult safety net, financial literacy, or institutional support, they quickly become targets for exploitation and predatory elements on the street. By failing to protect these two extreme pillars of our community, our oldest citizens who hold our history and our youngest who hold our future, our society is allowing its social contract to completely dissolve on the pavement. Part 9. The Underground Cohesion, Grassroots Empowerment. While the formal state structures and large-scale bureaucracies often move at a glacial pace, the survival of thousands of human beings on San Diego's streets depends entirely on a highly sophisticated network of grassroots organizations, street medics, and volunteers. This is the underground cohesion of the city, a movement of ordinary citizens who refuse to accept human suffering as a permanent feature of their neighborhoods. The data reveals a beautiful truth about this mobilization. Hundreds of local residents consistently volunteer their time to step onto the front lines of this crisis. What is most profound is that a significant percentage of these active volunteers are individuals who have personal lived experience with homelessness. They are survivors who managed to escape the quicksand of the pavement, and they are now returning to the encampments to pull others out. They don't arrive with judgment or generic advice. They arrive with deep empathy, shared language, and the distinct knowledge of what it takes to survive the concrete night. These grassroots teams, faith-based groups, and independent nonprofits are the ones doing the daily, heavy lifting that keeps hope alive in the shadows. They operate mobile hygiene trailers that provide hot showers and laundry services directly to the encampments. They run independent food kitchens that distribute hot, nutritious meals wrapped in genuine respect. They spend hours sitting on milk crates inside tents, helping people replace lost birth certificates, fill out complex digital housing applications, and prepare for job interviews. For a person who spent months feeling completely invisible to the world around them, a volunteer who remembers their name and asks about their well-being without conditions is a life-saving anchor, proving that real change grows from the bottom up when ordinary neighbors choose to show up for each other in the dark. Part 10, Reclaiming Our Shared Humanity. A systemic reflection. The homelessness crisis in San Diego is not an unsolvable mystery, a natural disaster, or the inevitable result of individual failure. It is a direct, structural consequence of choices we have made as a society. Choices about how we build our cities, how we value human labor, and how we protect the vulnerable among us. Every single tent lining the commercial corridors and every person sleeping exposed beneath a freeway overpass is a living reflection of a social contract that has been systematically broken. We have built a world that can generate unprecedented corporate wealth and technological innovation, yet we tell ourselves that providing a safe, warm door for a veteran or a working mother is a challenge too complex to meet. This is an illusion of powerlessness. The work being done by local outreach teams, the deployment of integrated care campuses, and the success of permanent supportive housing models prove that we know exactly how to cure this crisis. What is missing is a collective moral will to prioritize human life over speculative real estate profit. We must stop viewing our unhoused neighbors as a nuisance to be cleared, a statistic to be managed, or a threat to be feared. We must look to the lens of radical empathy and see them for who they truly are, our brothers, our sisters, our parents, and our children. They are human souls doing their absolute best to survive under circumstances that would break most of us within a week. Their quiet resilience on the pavement of San Diego should inspire us, but it should also break our hearts. Real civic safety and prosperity cannot be built by walling off the wealthy and leaving the poor to freeze in the rain. True community strength is measured by how safely the most vulnerable member of that community can sleep tonight. Outro, the future of the harbor. As the evening lights flicker across the waters of San Diego Bay and the shadows deepen beneath the concrete overpasses of the downtown grid, our long journey through this crisis comes to close. One truth remains written on the pavement. The soul of a city is defined by how it responds when its people are breaking in plain sight. The thousands of human hearts sleeping outside in San Diego tonight are holding on to a single, simple dream, a dream that is shared by human beings everywhere. It is a dream of a quiet room, a bed lifted off the hard ground, a door that locks the world out, and the peace of knowing you belong somewhere safe. This dream is not an extraordinary luxury. It is the baseline of human dignity. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for staying with us until the very final second of this extensive, continuous documentary on homeless U.S. news. In a digital world designed around rapid distraction, your decision to sit with this heavy, unfiltered truth from the first sentence to the last word carries real human weight. You are no longer just a passive viewer. You are a witness to the reality of your neighbors. If this journey through the paradox of San Diego has touched your heart, challenged your assumptions, or made you look at the street of your own neighborhood with a little more kindness, please take a brief moment right now to smash that like button. It takes less than a second, but it tells the algorithm that deep, human-centered journalism matters, helping this message reach thousands of more minds who need to awaken to this truth. If you want to continue walking alongside us through the hidden corners of America and giving a powerful voice to those who have been silenced in the shadows, hit subscribe to Homeless U.S. News and turn on that notification bell. We are building a global community that refuses to look away from human suffering. We want to hear your voice. What part of this documentary hit you the hardest? Have you noticed this housing crisis shifting in your own hometown? Let's start an honest, deeply respectful conversation in the comment section below. We read every single thought you share. Let's keep our empathy alive, reject indifference, and remember that we're all much closer to each other than the world wants us to believe. Stay warm, stay safe, and we will see you in the next story on Homeless U.S. News.